Hey, marriage coaches, if you're trying to grow your coaching business, but you feel stuck because you don't have an audience, this video is going to shift everything right now. The belief that you need a big audience to get clients is one of the biggest lies in the industry, and it's exactly what keeps marriage coaches from growing. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build an engaged audience from scratch, even if you're starting at zero. Now, I'm not talking about ads, fancy funnels, or gimmicks. This is one of the strategies my team and I would use with our clients at my company, The Scaling Consultant, where we help coaches grow predictable, client-ready audiences even while they feel invisible online. So, most coaches think starting at zero is a disadvantage. And I'm here to tell you right now, it's not. So, starting at zero actually means that you don't have to deal with any of the pressure due to no expectations. You get to have a clean reputation with no baggage from your past, an absolute clean slate. You also get total freedom to build exactly the kind of audience that you want. And let's not forget that there's no fear of failure, because even if you do mess up, you're way too small for anyone to even care. All right, listen. Your relationship with your audience is like a marriage. It grows because of how you connect with them, not because of how big a number is. This is why smaller audiences convert faster than big ones. A big audience is a vanity metric. A trusting audience is a revenue metric. So before you post anything, you need one thing: a magnetic identity your audience instantly recognizes. So this includes figuring out who you help. So an example of that would be, I help married couples break toxic communication patterns. But not only that, you also need to know what the core problem is that you're trying to solve. And please, don't say you're trying to solve marriage problems. We need to be a little bit more specific here. Like, here are some examples: conflict cycles, emotional disconnect, trust breakdown, resentment loops. And you also need to tell them the transformation that they're gonna get after working with you. And an example of that would be a connected, stable, and emotionally safe marriage. Now, when this identity is clear, your content becomes a magnet, not a guessing game. I need you to understand that most coaches never grow an audience because their messaging is too wide. When you narrow the message, the audience finds you. So here's the strategy that creates audience growth for someone with zero followers. You're going to build what I call an authoritative content system. It's 3 types of content that work together. So the first one is called point of view content, which builds leadership. So this is where you share strong opinions that cut through the noise. So an example of that would be, communication isn't the problem, safety is. And another example would be, you don't fall out of love, you fall out of repair. And another example would be, date nights don't fix resentment. This is the type of content that turns you into someone worth following. The next type of content is called clarity content. This is where we build understanding. And this is where you break down concepts and ideas. For example, an idea would be why couples get stuck. Another example would be, how do patterns form in a relationship? Another idea for you could be, what creates emotional distance? Or you can also talk about something along the lines of the psychology behind conflict cycles. Something to keep in mind is that people follow you when you explain their experiences better than they can. The next type of content you can make is called story content, and this is meant to build trust. What's great about this is that stories convert way faster than education. An example you could use could be client breakthroughs, or you could use real marriage patterns that you see on a regular basis. You could also mention aha moments for couples, as in when they finally got the solution. You can talk about that. You can also talk about emotional shifts in a relationship. So this one's pretty important because when people see the transformation, they want the transformation. All right, guys. So there's something I really need you to understand, okay? You don't need thousands of followers. You just need a group of people who deeply resonate with your message. Now, this small group, believe it or not, they're the ones that are going to help push out your brand. Why, you might be asking? Well, it's very simple. It's because this small group, they are literally going to be the ones who watch every post. They're going to watch out for everything you put out there. They're going to love your content. They're going to engage more because of it. They're going to comment more. They're going to share your content more. They're essentially like a free media team, to be honest. And not only that, but they're going to be the ones who are going to try to interact with you the most. They're going to DM you the most questions. And that's good. That's very positive. That shows you have very good momentum early on, especially if your audience is doing that. And not only that, but they're also the ones that are going to book calls the quickest. Yes, they're going to book calls the quickest. Because as they build up that familiarity with you, the moment they have an opportunity to have some one-on-one time with you, believe me, they're going to take it. So please do not despise small beginnings, because these people are literally building up and establishing your firm foundation as a business right now. And something that people often get wrong about growing an audience is that you don't need to go viral. It's about getting exponentially valuable to a small pocket of people. And once that pocket grows, everything else compounds. All right, so most coaches fail to grow an audience because they don't give people a clear next step. So what I'm about to show you right now are some CTA frameworks, or call to action frameworks, that work especially well for marriage coaches. So the first example of what I like to call a pathway CTA would be, if this resonates, message me marriage. Another example would be, if you want help breaking this cycle, DM me restore. And then another example would be, if this sounds like your relationship, send me help. Notice how they are all short, simple, and have zero pressure. This turns strangers into warm leads fast, because people want next steps, because people want solutions. However, people won't take that next step unless you make the path clear. So this strategy works for anyone with 0 followers because it's based on 2 things. The first one being human psychology, which tells us that people follow those who make them feel understood. And the second thing is how your audience resonates with you emotionally, because we are all aware that marriage struggles are emotional. So trust matters way more than audience size. And when you combine POV content, clarity content, story content, and a clear CTA, your audience grows faster than you think, and your clients come even faster. So if you're a marriage coach who loves making content, but would like to create or scale your own offer for proven growth system, book a free strategy session with me using the link in the description below to see how we can help you scale. And if there's not an alignment, don't worry, because you'll still get your own free personalized roadmap to success. So if you found this video valuable, I would appreciate it if you would please like and subscribe. It's absolutely free and it will mean more to me than anything. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.